Good morning. We'll call Wednesday, February 9th, 2022 meeting of the Criminal Justice Meeting to order. Start with roll call, please.
Mr. Hess?
Present.
Mr. Long?
Present.
Mr. Lear?
Present.
Mr. Snipes?
Present.
Ms. Peters?
Present.
Ms. Parker?
Present.
Mr. Fairfield?
Present.
Mr. Carrico?
Present.
Mr. Eckhoff?
Present.
Mr. Swanson?
Present.
Mr. Kirkstra?
Present.
Mr. Hunter?
Here.
Mr. Collins? Mr. Smith?
Present.
Mr. Gowler?
Present.
Mr. Wheeler? Mr. Searay? We have a quorum.
I have not received anything for public comment. Is there any public comment at this time? Any public comment? Seeing none, take a motion to approve the minutes of January 12th, 2022. Mr. Gowler, second by Ms. Peters. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Up next, Chief Judge, Mr. Cunnington. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. Seems like a heat wave out there, 30 degrees.
30 degrees.
I just have three things to mention this morning. Last month, you'll recall that we talked about the cell phone policy at the courthouse, and the Supreme Court had issued a basically a directive that all the courthouses should formulate a policy to open up to allowing people to bring in cell phones. There was an out in the policy that provided that if the chief judge decided that as a result of safety concerns for the courthouse and security concerns, that they could formulate a policy to continue to ban the cell phone use at the courthouse. And if they did that, then they had to provide lockers. And so in meeting with the state's attorney and the sheriff, who, as you heard last month, was strictly opposed to allowing the cell phones, I'll go ahead and remove my mask, allowing the cell phones to be allowed into the courthouse, we did formulate our own policy that continues to prohibit the use of cell phones in the courthouse. We've had some incidents in the past. People snuck in devices and information and photographs ended up on social media. And besides the security concerns that we have at the courthouse with the fairly recent activities of the shootings and so on. So we did prohibit that for now in both Kankakee and Iroquois counties. The second thing, in January, we did suspend the jury trials for all defendants and litigants that were not in custody or that had not filed a demand for speedy trial. That was because of the spiking of the COVID in the county. I think the numbers have come down substantially in the last few weeks. So starting Monday, we are going to resume all jury trials in all the courtrooms, including those that are not in custody. We will maintain the masks except when witnesses or attorneys are speaking, and we will also maintain the social distancing that we've been using in the past. Lastly, I can't remember if I announced this last month or not, but Judge Kramer, former Chief Judge Kramer, has announced his retirement. He is not seeking retention. That opens that seat up for election, and that will be filled in the November 8th general election. So if there's any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for the Chief Judge? Mr. Snipes.
And that you will keep us abreast as to when they're going to have a kind of a little celebration or something to say goodbye to here. I'm sure he's not going to stop running around the county and keeping an exercise, but
Sure, yes, his last day is November 2nd, so we'll have something at the courthouse for him, a reception. Usually we have cake in the basement sometime that afternoon or whenever his last day is.
all right.
Okay, all right,
Anything else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Up next, we have the Circuit Clerk, Ms. Cianci. In your package, you have a copy of the monthly report. Take a motion to approve. Mr. Eckhoff, second by Mr. Kirkstra. Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning, good morning. Yeah, I know. I noticed that too, so you're welcome. Good morning, everyone. If anyone has any questions, my reports are normal, like they've been the last few months. Collections are slow on the uptake. With all of that legislation changes, people are catching on and they're not paying if they don't have to, so that's pretty much how that goes. And our disbursements that we've done, since we're not collecting much, we're not dispersing much either. We dispersed $238,921. So,
Any questions on Sandy's report?
okay.
If I have a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
So I just wanted to piggyback on the cell phone policy. I was on that committee, the statewide committee, and I voiced our opinion for our county as far as not wanting them in our courthouse because of all of the issues that we've had in the past, and especially with the safety concerns that we've had recently. So I sided with the sheriffs. There were a few sheriffs on that committee too, so I just wanted to mention that. So then I sent some pictures over to Kelly. I wanted to update on our project of building the boxes and filling the boxes in our basement. The IBEW Local 176 from Joliet has been to my work sessions twice now. Once January 8th, we worked for 4 hours and we packed 250 boxes. And then on January 15th, we worked 8 hours that day. We had a bunch of boxes, so we built 600 and we packed 600. So the company that comes to pick these boxes up, you can keep showing some other pictures, they ran out of boxes and they haven't gotten a shipment yet, so we can't move forward on the project until we get more boxes. But these are just some of the pictures of the different areas in the basement and all the files that we're working on. So I want to thank Craig too, Craig Long and Jan Schmidt. They brought, here's our picture in the old books. They brought breakfast for everybody that day and kind of thanked everybody in person. So he was all excited about these books. I've got those books. There's what, over 100 books in that one row, and there's probably 4 books. In worrying about all the files, I failed to remember to worry about the books for the moment, so I need to figure out how to get those down to be preserved too. And then we were talking about how they need to go like to maybe the museum or something like that once we get the records, because there's some really, really cool stuff in those books. And Craig, if you want to talk a little bit about it.
Sure. So the book that I'm holding there is from 1853, which would have been, it's book number 1 as we became a county after they divided us from Iroquois and Will County. And the interesting thing is the handwriting that's in there. It's beautiful. And now it's kind of a given that persons who certify have their own seal that they put on there.
Like an impression seal.
Like an impression, that like you would squeeze it and it would leave an impression. In the day, they were hand drawn, and so as you see the different clerks in there, they put their own seal, and it's called a seal. It's hand drawn, and they're beautiful. But they need to be, at least a few of them need to be preserved somewhere where you can look at them, because they're crazy beautiful, you know, and it's our history.
Correct.
You know,
So,
it looked like most of them were from probate, from people passing and their property being divided, but there were a few criminal cases in that book. So
yeah, it was a fun taking him around, showing him all kinds of different stuff.
it was fun, and the massive quantity. I don't, if you haven't been down there, or you haven't been before they started unloading that place, the massive quantity of paper is truly overwhelming. It's just the amount of paper that has to be moved is huge, beyond your imagination.
Yeah, thank you. So I provided hot dogs and chips that day, and they're coming to pick up. They only pick up 250 boxes at a time, and even though the box truck they have is big enough to hold more, they said it's the weight that they are worried about. So that's why, and when the guy comes, it's only one guy, and he wheels every one of those boxes out. I mean, he puts them on a cart and probably 20 boxes at a time, and then he goes up the ramp, you know, the handicap ramp. He has to push them all the way up there and then load them in the box truck and then stack them and then come down. So it takes him a couple of hours just to load those 200 and some boxes at a time.
Mr. Hunter, did you have a question?
Yes, it did, Sandy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
From speaking charity that you guys referenced, had you given any thought or consideration to allocating a few of those books or binders over to the museum?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yes, that would be. I would work it out with the curator.
Okay, and it may be something you may want to do too, just for consideration. You know, whenever the kids come back to school and, you know, in their normal location, it could be a good idea to go to the schools and present that stuff from a historical perspective and show them how things used to be done, you know, in the 1800s. So that may be something that could be done as well too, and that shared information about our history.
Sounds great, thanks. I know when Jim Rowe had a couple of those senior things like at Quality Inn, I had brought senior fair, so I did bring a few of the books from when people were naturalized and showed that off too, and piqued some interest of different people about checking out their genealogy. So yeah, so there's a lot of cool things down in that basement. It's just, you know, we're so busy doing everything else that we forget that we have those jewels down there, that's for sure. So the next batch of boxes that are being picked up is this Tuesday, and then hopefully they'll be delivering us boxes, but we're not sure. It's kind of a wait and see at the moment. So that's all I have, if anybody...
Any other questions for Sandy? Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, State's Attorney's Office. In your package, you have a copy of the grand jury report and the grand jury statistics report. Take a motion to combine and approve them. Mr. Lear, second by Mr. Snipes. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mr. Pennewick from the Public Defender's Office. In your package, you have a copy of the monthly report. Would take a motion to approve that. By Mr. Kirkstra, second by Mr. Swanson. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning.
Comments on your report, sir?
No comments. I'll be happy to take any questions anyone has.
Any questions? Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And just very briefly, I just want to add on to what Judge Cunnington said earlier regarding the cell phone policy. There is an exception carved out. The judge created an exception for legitimate court purposes. So if you do need to bring a phone in because of, you know, documentation or emails or texts that might be relevant to the proceeding, it is allowed. So it's a good exception to the general rule. And that's all I have.
Did you fill any of your you had 6 vacancies?
No, that's the other. That's Jim's office.
That's Tom's office. Never mind.
I've been doing good, so okay. I'm not complaining.
All right.
All right.
Good. Any questions for Ed?
All right. Thank you very much.
Up next, the guy with the vacancies, public defender or probation, Mr. Latham. In your packet, you have a copy of the monthly report from Mr. Latham. Take a motion to approve that by Mr. Long, second by Ms. Peters. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning. I have nothing to add on the report unless anybody has any questions. Or
any questions on Tom's report? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The only thing I have is related to the vacancies that you discussed. Obviously, we still have 5. Still are having trouble getting applicants. A few weeks ago, AOIC started posting positions for the statewide pretrial positions. They added some layers in there. The salaries were a little higher than I thought they might be. So I don't know how that will impact probation departments around the state, if they're gonna draw what applicants are out there. So let's wait and see. Is it gonna be the same salary around, if they're working remote, is it gonna be the same salary for each region in the state or different down south? We don't know, but I think it's just gonna add to our issue. There's been discussions and meetings I've been in that more and more that of changing the qualifications for probation and detention officers in juvenile detention centers, not requiring bachelor's degree, letting people out of state apply, especially in the counties like ours who border other states. There's a bill now out there to not require a bachelor's, and also for AOIC to fund part-time positions. Now, right now they provide all reimbursement for salary for us, but now they would be doing it for part-time. So there's things kind of going, nothing's happened, but we all know it's like legislation, you hear about it, it comes up every year, and finally something is gonna change or happen. So I'm not here to say that part-time I don't know how that would really help us. When you think about everything, maybe in a certain situation with the perfect person, it might be something we could use, but qualification wise, I know even in the world of education and stuff, they've been hearing that for a while, of starting to reduce the qualifications required. So I'll keep everybody posted. The problem's not going away. Like I said, we still have 5 vacancies that we're trying to fill, and I can't give enough credit to our staff that is making all this happen, getting everything done, making sure everybody's monitored and everything's being completed on time. And you got to figure two or three more positions are newer people that are being trained. So when you add that into the 5 vacancies, it's a lot of work for people. So they deserve a lot of credit. But that's all I have. And drug court has been moved to this Thursday. Drug court graduation, courtroom 300 at 10:30. It was last week. Snow had postponed because of the snowstorm. So. And I can get an email out today to everybody here, just so you have it. So
10:30?
10:30, courtroom 300. And I'll get that to Kelly if you want to.
Any other questions for Tom?
Yes, Mr. Steve.
Mr. Hunter.
Yeah, Tom, thanks for that informative report. My question that you talked about, you were saying that there may be a possibility that people that don't have degrees, bachelors, would qualify for some of these positions. But the only concern I have, just because you have a bachelor's, let's say in dietary science or something, that wouldn't be a good fit for your. That's my comment.
Yeah, it's wide open for AOIC under their requirements of, it's just basically a bachelor's degree, so you could have a bachelor's in just about anything. Obviously, when it gets to us, we look at what your bachelor's is in, and if it's related, and you know, there are situations where someone had an associate's degree, but work experience wise, they would be maybe a good fit. Maybe they worked in some sort of area of law enforcement for 20 years or something, and
correct.
You know, we can look at, you know, again, if it's the perfect applicant kind of thing, maybe it might work for us, but this problem's going to be around a while, and I just don't know how it's going to get fixed with getting people to work. So.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you. Up next, the sheriff. Have a copy of the monthly report in your packet. Take a motion to approve. Mr. Fairfield, second by Ms. Parker. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning. Good morning. Not a whole lot this past month. I can tell you that we've made it through 2 months, and we are still revenue-wise for housing, we're still ahead from last year. as we try to maintain that number at least, if not bring in more. But there is a couple things on the report that we've added. If you take a look down under section 2, the sworn services, there's right in the middle, there's something titled Narcan use, and that is calls that we have responded to where Narcan was administered. As you can see, in 2021 there were 4, and that's just police. That doesn't include EMS. That is just strictly county police. That doesn't include Kankakee City, Bourbonnais, Bradley. It's just our department. And then if you go down to straight down from that Narcan use, there is something titled mental health calls, MH calls, it says. From 3653, this was language included in that legislation regarding the documentation of mental health calls when we respond to something. It's documented in our system. So far this year we have had none, but just something that is actually a good thing to track, because that is such an issue. Mental health is such an issue, not only in our jail but out in the public as well. So you'll see some of that documentation as we move forward. And the third area that is added on is on the far right hand side. It says OD cases. These aren't these are cases, calls that we respond to where in our report it was identified as an overdose. We don't know the outcome of it, but they are calls that we are responding to overdoses. These numbers will be significantly different than what the coroner is going to report to you, I'm sure, because these are just sheriff's office cases. So, but I think it's important to know that throughout this the drug use, the overdoses that I know the coroner talks to you about and is out in front of this issue, you know, a lot of times police are the first ones on the scene, and I know that the coroner's office is tracking the amount of saves in the county that is done by police, by fire, and I think it's important to note that, you know, the law enforcement that responds is responding to these cases first. The number seems probably a little low to some based on what you hear, but a lot of times if the ambulance beats law enforcement to a call, they're already administering the Narcan, so we wouldn't do that. But the coroner's office has done an outstanding job with local law enforcement county-wide to train everybody and to provide Narcan for law enforcement to be able to attempt to save somebody when they get to a call. So that's what those numbers are for. So any other questions on the report?
Any questions on the report?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Hunter, go ahead.
I got a lot of time on my hands, so I got a little energy. Thank you very much for the report. I just want to offer kudos to you and Alderman Victor Navarez, the coroner, and I think also Mayor Curtis for the interfacing on this drug epidemic. And I tell you, in the last few years, I've learned a lot because you may recall that you came and I had a project with NAACP, and you guys came and made a magnetic presence on information regarding fentanyl and heroin and all that. And we'd like to maybe see that done again as well too. I think that's important. But anyway, something else as well too that's been heavy on my heart And I know that I'm preaching to the choir when I talk to you about House Bill 3653. Is there ever going to be an opportunity, in which about the trailer bills and interface by Senator Sims to come here to Kankakee, which is part of his new district now, for the Illinois Sheriff's Association and some of us who have obvious concerns, the fiscal impact, cashless bail, and other items that I think the people in the county would like to interface and provide questions to Mr. Sims on the adverse impact of 3653, because there has only been some trailer bill, and that's only about different dates, and I think you reported on that. Is there any way, again, without being totally redundant, can he come and talk with us about this particular fiasco?
I guess I would say that our door's always open, and we've been willing to talk from day one before they passed it, but you know, apparently the 4 in the morning group wasn't able to participate in the passage of 3653. So our door is always open for him. You know, again, the invitation has been extended numerous times. I know there is some legislation out there to repeal 3653 that I believe former county board member and current state representative Jackie Haas is one of the co-sponsors of. So yeah, our door is always open to talk. My phone is always on. So I'd be more than happy to talk to him anytime he wants to come, but the likelihood of that is probably nil.
And just one other comment is that Senator Joyce and Representative Haas didn't vote for that 3653. Additionally, I like the concept, maybe it could be done in form of a trailer bill, that, you know, right outside Chicago, there's a place called Illinois, but it seems as though that all of the activity associated as to why they did 3653 in the beginning, a lot of that activity was germane and centered up north. The point I'm trying to make is that Senator Joyce had a concept of a pilot project, and that would center the legislation for Cook County, as opposed to having statewide implications. I don't know if you've ever talked to him about that, but I know I have, and I thought that was an activity that he was thinking outside the box, and it wouldn't, and part of my French, it wouldn't piss as many people off in terms of law enforcement, which it has. Not only law enforcement, but circuit clerks, state's attorneys, and other law enforcement people in that particular community.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly willing to talk with anybody, as is the Sheriff's Association.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Animal control?
If you're done with the Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, unless
Animal
there's any other
control
questions. Yeah. We have an AWAC meeting this afternoon, and that's in this building? Yeah. And we have a part-time opening at Animal Control for a animal control tech. And our numbers right now, as of today, are good as far as capacity at the facility. So that's really all I have.
Any questions on the animal control?
That's all I got.
That's it?
That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm, thank you.
Yeah. Up next, Coroner's Office. Mr. Dessner. In your packet, you have a copy of the coroner's monthly reports and the monthly receipts of money. Take a motion to combine and approve that. Mr. Eckhoff, and second by Mr. Kirkstra. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Always good to see you.
Always nice to be seen. And while I'm sitting, not where you're looking at me any other way.
Just the summary, it's kind of early in the 2022. Really nothing jumps out at me. Our calls are down in January a little bit. Other than that, I'll take any questions on that right now. It's kind of early to. I'm sorry. Repeat it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just saying in 2022, our calls, it's kind of early in the year, but I see that our calls are down in January a little bit there, but other than that, see anything out there that you, we did add one is on there as COVID with the 19 there. We added that on to show you how many deaths that there are in Kankakee County. So
I had one question asked earlier before you were here. Last month it said there was 8 or 9 pending, and now it's 1. Would you explain what you do when that happens?
Well, when the cases are done and completely done there, then we're added onto this chart here. So if we had 6 the last time there, that's added onto the statistics of all natural, homicide, suicide, accidental.
Does everybody understand that? So just use like hospice? No, that wouldn't be a good one. No. Overdose. If we had 8 pending and they only had 4 overdoses last month, this month it might show that there were 7 overdoses because the pending are gone.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Any questions, Mr. Lear?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under that COVID-19, I noticed you've got 44 and 41 deaths for December and January, and then the total is 44.
I see that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll correct that.
Good
All
catch.
right, thank you.
Good catch.
Yeah, good catch. What, catcher's man or first baseman? Oh, good job.
Any other questions on the report? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Just briefly, you should have it in your packages, I hope, on the Kankakee County Coroner's Office annual report. I'm not going to go through everything on that. I'm just going to, and if you have any questions, I'll take them, but I'll just go through short, not to take up all your time, and I think there's like 40-some pages on there. But the calls for services is up, basically. Let me get to my, excuse me. Yeah, calls for services have gone up since 2019. They just continually keep going up all the time. Autopsies performed, I want to bring that out like we just did on the pending there. The autopsies are performed in the forensic, Brian Mitchell Forensic Center, which is behind the jail. There's 2 offices out there. My administration office is in the building where the sheriff is, and then we have another one behind us. People come out there and they're wondering why I'm not in the office out there at the morgue there. Well, I'm not out there all the time. I'm out there probably 90% of the time, but not all the time. So just to let you know, if you go around the complex, you'll see the Brian Mitchell Center. And also just an update on that, so I don't forget that, our air handling units have been ordered. They were anywhere between 26 and 28 weeks before we get it, which is putting a heck of a problem. We're right even with our pressurized in our autopsies. We're okay with that. We're wearing masks and everything ahead of that. So it takes that long. The cooler will be, or excuse me, the freezer will be here on the 26th, I believe it is, 26th, 27th of this month here. So we're happy to get into that. So autopsies for the year are down a little bit, not that much, but autopsies expenditures are going up. Pathologist fees, transportation, toxicology, lab fees, x-rays, and miscellaneous supplies. Our homicides cost us last year almost $29,276 extra. Suicides are right around 15,000. They were down 15,000, and the drug overdoses, $42,000 it cost us this year for just the drug overdoses. And the multiple vehicle accidents, right around 25,868. Motor vehicle accidents are up. Suicides, as I said, were down. Homicides have doubled. ODs are down just a little. And our overdoses data there, as I've explained to you before, 84% of our deaths in overdoses are fentanyl. 46 is a kind of a mixture of fentanyl and cocaine, and 15% heroin. When we had that problem in 2012, as heroin was rising, now heroin's going down, but fentanyl is taking over. So, other than that, I think everything is self-explanable on the report that you got. I'd like to thank my chief deputy, Eric Cavender, and my administrative assistants for a great job that they did on that. So,
any questions on the month or the annual report? Where you want to go? That slide?
No. Oh, she's doing. Oh, I didn't know they were going to do that. I was just told to do a short, brief shot. Yeah, that basically covered everything. I didn't know you had that. I'm sorry.
Yep. All right.
I should look to my right more.
Any questions? Mr. Lear.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I noticed that when it comes to autopsies by gender, you have a lot more males than females. Is that something that usually occurs?
Yes. Well, I think the only time we, a couple of years back, where the overdoses of females were a little higher than the males, but now it's back down to normal on that. And I thank you for that question.
Normal. That's not a good thing to say as normal, but.
Yeah. That's kind of cornerstone.
Yeah. Any other questions for the coroner? Anything else for us, sir?
That's it. Anything else? I don't think I have anything else unless you have something. Hopefully we can.
Thank you.
Keep it down. Thank you. I didn't know we were doing that.
Yeah. Any old business come before the committee? Any old business? Any new business? Mr. Kirkstra.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move to adjourn.
Second by Ms. Peters. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.